Here's Mike Huckabee on America's 250th. He tells Israelis, you guys have been around for 3,800 years and still going, but yet the state of Israel is 77 years. Remind me again who pays his salary?
What a blessing it is this year to be an American, because America is 250 years old as of this coming Saturday.
Politicians are whores, okay? And if you need any more evidence of that, you can look at Kamala Harris and how she's posturing towards the likes of Zohran Mamdani. She's trying to get in good with the Democrat socialists now. She's like, what's up, my fellow anti-Zionists? They just, which way is the wind blowing today? Ah, okay. This is what I need to sell. Got it.
Yes, I'm fairly old, but I was not around at the beginning of the country. I just want to make that clear. We think of 250 years in America as being an extraordinarily long time. But the fact is, when I realize where I am here in Israel, and I realize you guys have been around for 3,800 years and still going.
On your knees, Goyim. That's right. Start sucking that
we feel
dick.
Kind of young as a nation. What a blessing it is.
I can never understand what Mike Huckabee's saying because he's always got a Jewish cock in his mouth. Both sides are bad, but these are the sides. Here, listen to the cries of the children as they watch their home in Bethlehem get demolished because they're not Jewish. Without any reason except for spite, occupation bulldozers demolished the home of citizen Ali Mahmoud Suleiman in the town of Tuku, south of Bethlehem in the West Bank. Talk about trauma. And look at the entire land. It's like the last building that's standing. Evil, dude. They're so evil. Look who sponsored that bulldozer. Who owns that excavator? How'd they get that one? Oh, that's right, the American company Hyundai. Ethnic cleansing sponsored by Hyundai. And I'm told that if you need to discount mini bad shit, Israeli soldiers have been spotted in a hotel in Caracas today. This would be the first Israeli presence in Venezuela since Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez kicked out all Israeli diplomats from Venezuela before cutting all relations with Israel in 2009 because of its war on Gaza. And now you know why Hugo Chavez was detained, imprisoned, and basically assassinated by the CIA. And did you know that we couped the Venezuelan government under Maduro in 2020 as well, under Joe Biden? I believe Joe Biden was president, or maybe no, he started his presidency in 2021. So at the tail end of Donald Trump's first presidency, they tried to coup the Venezuelan government. And you know what they did? Maduro was the democratically elected leader of Venezuela. And because Britain and, the Western powers, basically, headed by the United States, because they didn't like that, because of what Maduro was planning on doing, which, again, as we know, is always land reform. That's always what these democratically elected leaders that get characterized as communists or socialist Marxists or whatever. What are they trying to do? They're just trying to reappropriate their land, their oil revenue, the things that they need to sustain their society. And so because Maduro was not well received by the West, the British government, basically the Bank of London, at the request of the United States, withheld the gold that was parked in the Bank of London, the Venezuelan gold, or at least the revenue from it. I'm not sure, but it basically would amount to their gold reserves were being held in a Western bank, and they said you can't have access to those funds because we don't like what leader you elected. Wah. But hey, free market, right? All praise be to the free markets. So they say the Isaac Accords are in full swing. Let's see, what are the Isaac Accords again? It's a diplomatic, economic, and cultural initiative aimed at strengthening cooperation between Israel and Latin American countries. The name alludes to the Abraham Accords. So they're just all trying to, anytime you see something Accords, like insert biblical character Accords, it's really just Israel trying to normalize as an apartheid occupation state, guilty of a genocide. They're trying to normalize relations with other countries around the world. That's what the Abraham Accords are in the Middle East, and that's what the Isaac Accords are for Latin America. It was first announced in June of 2025 by Argentina's ambassador to Israel, Rabbi Shimon Axel Juanish, who previously served as a personal rabbi to, of course, Javier Milei. So that's the Isaac Accords, as you can see. Here is an Australian senator telling the truth. Australian Senator Pocock. Pocock. We've got a lot of Australians in the chat. I'm sure you guys know this person. He's bald, but he's based. He's based and bald. He says that he cited June 18th, 2026 UN report documenting IDF deliberately shot at children's limbs as a twisted game of target practice.
The Israeli Defense Force has now killed 20,000 Palestinian children and injured 44,000 more. This is indefensible. The report found evidence of attacks on child essential infrastructure like orphanages and schools, the starvation and torture of detained children.
Crikey.
It identified really horrifying evidence that IDF soldiers deliberately shot at children's limbs as some sort of twisted game of target practice. The report found the scale of child deaths is unprecedented to the point that it is unparalleled across modern conflicts globally. Unparalleled. And I think we need to come to terms with what it means in this moment in history to be defined this way. The Israeli Defense...
Here, look, Jews love Christians so much in the Jewish state of Israel. Let's take a look. He's still in his underwear. You're not supposed to throw chairs on Shabbat, Shlomo. What are you doing? Get a goy to do that. Oh, he tried to kick the lady and he fell down. Look, the little skirt wins. Oh, he got it caught on her dress. They're so coordinated. Look at this. Nice, you threw a chair. Look, I threw a water bottle. I try kick. Whoop. Eat backfire. I don't know whether the world is truly aware or is deliberately turning a blind eye to what is happening right now in Gaza. 1,000 days into the genocide, they're constructing little concentration camps. Look at this. But this is exactly how they're planning the so-called new Gaza they keep talking about. I can't believe this is a real picture. It almost looks like AI, but I'm told this is real. Here's today in Albania, an Israeli embassy delegation got swarmed by furious crowds as they left government offices. The people are done. Nobody likes Israel anymore. Get him. Albanians are pissed, man. Forgot this chode's name. He was a senator, right? He was on Theo Vaughn's podcast. Does anybody know what is this guy's name again? John. It's John Kennedy. Wait, isn't he? He's from my state. This ghoul. Isn't he Louisiana? No, not that. Wait, what? Not that Kennedy. So many Kennedys. Let's see. John Kennedy. Here it is. Louisiana politician. Yeah, so that's my fucking senator. This loser. He was on Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn's also from Louisiana, so that makes sense. All right, let's see. From one Louisianian to another.
That's my point of view. Tucker will have a different point of view.
Yeah.
He thinks that we're too close to Israel.
I think a lot of people, from people that I see all the time, that's the number one thing that people say. They think we're too close to a country that's created a genocide against Palestine, and then is like in conflict with these other people around them. That it seems like they're just like kind of the bullies of the area. You know, it's like it feels like they're the terrorist organization. That's what it seems like to a lot of people.
And you know, it actually seems like that. That's it. Theo Vaughn is basically verbatim quoting IDF soldiers. He's like, because we know that IDF soldiers are on record of saying, when we went to Gaza, it was like we were the Nazis and the Palestinians were the Jews. So this is from their own mouths.
A lot of people believe that. Hamas attacked Israel, and the Israelis fight back. And they took over the Gaza Strip.
I mean, they rely on your ignorance. They rely on you not making the distinction that there is a qualitative difference between the violence of the oppressed, the violence of the resistance, and the violence of the oppressors, the violence of the occupiers. They're not done for the same reasons. So yes, Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, But why? Well, you do some contextualizing here, and you understand that since 1967, Israel has been illegally occupying the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem, including the Golan Heights and parts of Lebanon. And the entire international community condemns this and calls upon Israel to withdraw from the occupied territories, which they have yet to do. So, under international law, occupied people have a right to resist, and that resistance can be notional. It can be symbolic. It does not necessarily have to be strategic, because when you're faced with annihilation, this is something Mahatma Gandhi, the most famous peace activist, understood. Lest you have your houses burned down and your civilization destroyed, you've got to lash out. You've got to act out, even if it doesn't mean that you're going to win. Okay, it's actually, that is, considered a protected human right. And if we were to apply John Kennedy's logic to the Warsaw Ghetto, we would have to condemn the Jewish militias who resisted the Nazi occupation of Warsaw, and they made makeshift rudimentary weapons to mount a revolt against the Nazis, and they used indiscriminate violence, and they killed people, and they didn't always just kill Nazi soldiers. Sometimes they killed their family members. Okay, so do we condemn if we apply this logic, principally, then we would be forced to condemn slave revolts. We'd have to be condemning slaves who revolted against their slave owners in the 1800s. We'd have to condemn Jews for fighting against the Nazis in Warsaw. I mean, go down the list. Any time that you've had this type of a power differential between two social groups, it's always recognized that the subordinate aspect, the one that's being dominated, has a right to resist. And that explains October 7th.
And yes, a lot of Palestinians got hurt. And
not got hurt, got killed.
Got killed and hurt. And but Hamas would.
All right, thank you for helping me achieve my goals here.
The Gazans hostage. They would put them out front.
But how do we even know that? They killed 220
because
something.
We've seen it.
No, we haven't. He's lying again. There's no evidence that Hamas uses its own citizens as human shields. It's actually the opposite. Israel uses Palestinians as human shields as they go in and escalate more violence against Palestinian neighborhoods. That's been well documented. In fact, even Israeli courts have had to rule against IDF soldiers that they found were doing this in operations that predated October 7th. That go back decades. And of course, these IDF soldiers get a slap on the wrist, but the point stands that even Israel recognizes that this is what the IDF does as a form of their own policy.
They killed 220-something journalists that went there to document what was going on.
There's no question there have been civilian deaths.
They wouldn't let journalists in to even document what was happening there.
There have been civilian deaths, but it is primarily the fault.
It's collateral damage.
I'm not saying Israel is blameless. Look, war is ugly.
Yeah, but is this war?
But it is war.
You think it's war?
It is war.
They just had an article yesterday that came out from the UN. If here's some findings of the commission, Israel has killed 20,000 children and injured 44,000 more since October 7th, 2023.
He's like, no, that's just, the cost of doing business.
Let me see. Palestinian children have been arrested and subjected to torture and other severe forms of mistreatment in Israeli prisons. This is all part of, let me see, United Nations.
Well, first, I wouldn't believe it if it came from the UN.
Oh, really? They're not? Do you feel like they're not liable?
They're not. They're not
reliable.
They're not.
Yeah, no. He said, you know what? If the IDF says it, then that's the truth. If Israel says it, I'll just go along with what Israel says. But if the UN says it, no. They're basically just a Hamas proxy.
Objective.
Okay.
They're not objective.
Well,
number
that's the thing.
Two. Number two. And I know children got killed, and it breaks your heart.
It doesn't break mine, but it breaks yours. It totally broke your heart. I'm okay with it.
Hamas kills children too. So does Hezbollah. So does Iran. That's my point of view.
Unfortunately, I think Theo's just too much of a pushover. I like Theo, but he's we can't expect these podcasters to take these politicians to task. I think I mean, I would like to see that, but I don't think Theo Von is the guy that's going to challenge every lie that these senators utter. Here's a clip of friends of the show, Suleiman and Larry Johnson. Let's see, it says Iran's missiles will overwhelm U.S. and Israel defenses.
Okay, wait. So explain this. U.S. is going to play defense, as Ted Postal already showed on Monday on his video podcast with Danny Davis, that of all the U.S. Patriot missile batteries, they only intercepted less than 10%. Okay, 10%. Iran will overwhelm Israeli and U.S. defenses with ballistic missiles, and the U.S. does not have an answer for it, apart from the fact that they're running out of Patriot missiles that really don't work anyway. So, Israel strikes Iran, and then Iran's going to beat the bloody hell out of Israel.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Okay, Alex Karp is in the headlines again. He's talking about how he's supporting Israel. I mean, we know. And Adam is saying the most evil CEO in the world is also Israel's biggest supporter. That's not a coincidence.
This is like so many things. I am the most publicly supportive CEO of Israel, and that's true. I think Israel is on the side of good.
He's on. What he means is that Israel is on the side of Alex Karp's bank account. So he's making a fuck ton of money off this genocide. Remember that Palantir struck a deal with Israel for I don't know how many billions of dollars. We could find out in 2024. How much was the deal between Palantir and Israel worth from early 2024? Okay, they're not going to give it to me. The exact financial value of the January 24 agreement between Palantir Technologies and Israel's Ministry of Defense was never publicly disclosed by either party. With the exact dollar amount remaining undisclosed, the key details made public about the arrangement include the scope. Palantir officially partnered with Israel to provide data analytics and artificial intelligence technology specific to assist in war-related missions. So we know that, the way that Israel targets Palestinians in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip and in Lebanon, they use AI software that was created by Palantir. We know about Lavender AI. We know about Where's Daddy. We know about Gotham is another one. That's I think is more domestic. That's what the Palantir and the Pentagon use, and also domestic police forces in the United States. But there's all kinds of these little AI targeting programs that they use, and I'm pretty sure this deal was worth billions of dollars. Okay. I don't know the exact amount. It says the broader context, while this specific contract value is hidden, similar military and intelligence tech partnerships in the region are known to be massive. For example, the Israeli government's Project Nimbus cloud computing deal with Google and Amazon is worth over $1 billion. So, yeah, we all hate Alex Karp, of course. Here's Israel summed up in 20 seconds. Let's take a look.
All right, guys, today we're going to teach you how to make traditional Israeli food. Let's go. All right, so first, you just take somebody else's. Yo, that's mine. Hey, buddy, look, this was promised to me 3,000 years ago. Hey, officer, this thief is getting aggressive. Yeah.
Boom. Nailed it. Crushed it.